defining what is the cause of a problem. Some people may be more susceptible to a health condition, but a lot of toxicity in someone's body can magnify a slight problem that's very tolerable, that's really can go almost unnoticed, magnify it 10 times or whatever. Of course, one size doesn't fit all. Each person is a little bit different. But it wouldn't be considered really a mental illness if the toxins weren't in the body. And I'm talking neurotoxins on a cellular level, because you get a lot of mercury or lead in an environment, whatever neurotoxin, there's tons of them, but they go straight for the soft tissue in the brain. They will affect functioning in different parts of the brain. You have different parts of the brain now not working right, and then that's going to send signals, or not properly send signals, to the brainstem and to the nervous system and the rest of your body anymore. Correct. So you're going to have misfirings, and parts of your brain won't be function right. We have to have the amygdala. That's the on and off switch for that prefrontal lobe, which is really in control of keeping you focused and calm and cool. And of course, the amygdala is that pathway or switch that will, that's an important factor on all the brain stuff. I don't want to get into that right now. But having a lot of toxicity, now your body is not able to deal with a problem at hand, or it's going to manifest a problem that is very minute now, is becoming a problem that wouldn't be in normal circumstances a problem in you. So the bucket load is over full. Your body's focusing too much time and too much effort, maybe a never-ending effort, because it's trying to pull out these toxins, and it's constantly preoccupied with this problem at hand. So now other problems like brain issues and nervous system issues go unaddressed or barely addressed. So it can't focus its attention on the problem at hand. And you can mask some of these problems, and until the toxicity level is down, it's okay to use kratom or valerian root or kava kava or whatever may work for a person in the meantime. And natural causes, holistic causes, cures don't happen overnight. It's not a magic pill. You're not going to be cured overnight. Especially when it comes to toxicity on a cellular level. It's in the fatty tissues, in the bone marrow. It needs to be pulled out of the system, and it needs to be done slowly. And there's other ways of doing it, but the most cost-effective way, affordable, and safest way is zeolite. I know other ways of doing things, but you might have to go to a practitioner that's good in removing toxins with frequencies and testing you with an advanced form of kinesiology. There's other ways of Dr. Siegel has done with me, but I've been using zeolite for about a month now, but I'm doing more than one avenue. I don't just do what only Dr. Siegel's helping me with. I do a lot of other things. But if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't be here talking to anyone that's hearing me, because I was in a bad state there and didn't think I was going to make it through it because my body had enough. But anyway, that's another whole story. But from my research, and this is a passion of mine that I have done a lot of studying, especially since '06 on, is mental health and holistic, more natural ways of curing the problem. I always knew there had to be cures or ways of getting to the root cause. And I believe number one thing I would do is focus on a good detoxification on a cellular level. And zeolite, a good pure form of zeolite, because what they do is they micronize it to pull out any of the toxins that are already trapped inside this piece of ash, is what it is. But it's like a little Pac-Man with a ton of cages inside of it. And if all these cages are open, then the zeolite will work really well by locking in and sealing so they can't bother you or harm you anymore. Mercury and lead and fluoride and chlorophyll, and fluoride's another neurotoxin, but mercury and lead are very dangerous ones. Fluoride is too, but there's many types of neurotoxins. But any other toxin besides neurotoxins, zeolite is helpful for, and that will get that bucket load down. So I want to try to keep this video short. I have a tendency to be long-winded and go into monotonous details, and maybe not always focused and directed, which is probably part of my problem still lingering, which I'm getting better and better all the time. And I'm very happy with the progress and my life right now, but I do see areas that still need tweaked, and my health is continuing to improve. But if anything that I'm able to do right now to help others to gain a better life free from the restraints that mental illness may have, because most people that are burdened with mental illness are on a limited budget. So cost effective is a number one priority. Not everybody that's been dealing with a chronic illness is going to be rolling in the dough. So cost-effective ways is at the top of my priority. And there's other ways of detoxing, chelation type therapies, that I think are kind of dangerous, because you have to really know what you're doing, and they pull out a lot of minerals and vitamins while they're pulling out the toxins. So zeolite doesn't do that. And even another good one's chlorella, but you're stirring that pot, and while you stir the pot, when they're pulling out toxins, if your kidneys and your intestinal tract are not running properly, you're going to recycle some of these toxins again, and they're going to be reabsorbed. So you're not really getting the bang for your buck when they go back in you. But you do want your digestive system to be eliminating, hopefully at least once a day, maybe 2 or 3 if everything's going perfect. But everybody's a little different, everybody's bodies run a little different. But you want to go regularly. Hopefully you really can't tell everybody's going to pee regularly, but if the kidneys are clean and working properly and functioning properly, they will be eliminating toxins well themselves. And of course you eliminate toxins from your skin. You sweat. I noticed since Dr. Siegel's worked with me, I will be home at the end of a day, and my socks will be soaked. I sweat now better than I ever did before in my life. So I'm eliminating toxins in different ways a lot better than I used to. But a good, cheap form of detoxification that's going to pull these dangerous neurotoxins out of your body is zeolite. And I think that's the #1 area to focus on to getting better. But in the meantime, if you need to use something like kratom and or valerian root or kava kava, some herbs that can help you deal with anxiety, depression, and help you deal with life better in the meantime. There's a lot of different things that people recommend herb-wise as remedies or band-aids, if you ask me, because they're not the answer. They're more taking care of a symptom than getting to the root cause. And there's nothing wrong with helping a symptom, but you should be getting to the cause of the problem also, because then you may be able to live without taking a supplement or having that clarity of mind, which you'll never be able to stop detoxifying in a industrialized world. I was going to look through my notes, I can't find them, but we are constantly being bombarded with toxins on a daily basis. You can't go to Alaska or the North or South Poles without having toxicity. In this over-industrialized world that we live in, we're bombarded on a daily basis. We're swimming in a sea of carcinogens, which carcinogens are cancer-causing toxins, but we're talking about neurotoxins here. But some will affect your body in more than one way, multiple ways. But we're living in a world that toxicity should be an issue. And I believe from my research that most mental illness can either be helped dramatically or cured from detoxifying. So I would say that would be a #1 starting point if you're troubleshooting. It'd be nice to have someone that could test you in some way. But if you can't afford tests and you want to start on some type of regimen and protocol, zeolite and detoxification. Zeolite type of detoxification would be the starting point. And of course, you could help yourself with other things along the way. It's a multifaceted approach. But first off, start with pulling the toxicity out of your brain. And then watch the focus and clarity. There's many, many testimonials, many amount of information throughout the net. And of course, there is that little bit of media information that's going to scare you away from helpful things. Big Pharma's got to get their 2 cents in. That's going to be negative, and even sometimes downright scaring you away from the answer. So you have to siphon everything that you read and research. So maybe this will be a spark. You could take a bit of this information and aim towards your research and see if and maybe do some experimenting on yourself. See if this is not something that you can prove to yourself works. So this is my first video, and a small video that's broken down to a specific area like detoxification, and of course eating well, clean, grass-fed beef, you know, fresh fruits and vegetables, organic if you can. You know, as much live and good nutrition as you can. I promote the paleo diet because I think starchy stuff like grains and stuff like that is, you know, going to help inflammation. In all diseases, inflammation is a factor. But diet's important. There's other things that are important, which I'll get to in other videos if people want me to even keep this up. I don't know if this is something I will do more. But detoxify your body. That's my first protocol avenue of approach. Thank you, and tell me if I should keep on doing this.